Hello and welcome to BYJU'S IAS. Let's get started with our daily quiz and look at question number 1. Which of the following was held by the Supreme Court in Indira Sahni versus Union of India? Number 1, economic backwardness is not a criteria for providing reservation. Number 2, reservation can be provided only at the time of recruitment and not at the time of the promotions. 3. Reservation cannot exceed 50% under any circumstance as it was needed to ensure efficiency in administration. Select the correct option from below. The Indira Sahni case, also known as the Mandal case. In this judgment, the Supreme Court said economic backwardness is not a criteria for providing reservation. Reservation can be provided only on the basis of social and educational backwardness. In fact, in this judgment, the Supreme Court said reservation is not a fundamental right. Reservation can be provided only at the discretion of the state. If the state wants to provide reservation, it is free to do that. But reservation can be provided only on the basis of social and educational backwardness. Economic backwardness is not a criteria for providing reservation. Supreme Court also said that this 10% reservation which was provided for the economically poor, the then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao's government provided for 10% reservation for economically poor sections of the society. This reservation was struck down by the court in Indira Sahni versus Union of India because economic backwardness is not a criteria for providing reservation. The Supreme Court further said that reservation can be provided only at the time of the recruitment. Reservation cannot be provided at the time of the promotion. And it was because of this judgment that later on the Parliament of India amended the Constitution and provided for Article 16(4) capital A. And it is this article which provides for reservation in promotion for SCs and STs. Otherwise, the Supreme Court had said in Indira Sahni case that reservation can be provided only at the time of the recruitment. It cannot be provided at the time of the promotions. But the Supreme Court further said that there has to be 50% limit. Reservation cannot exceed beyond 50%. But reservation can exceed beyond 50% only under exceptional circumstances. Otherwise, reservation cannot exceed beyond 50%. That is why the statement 3 is incorrect. Because it is this phrase, under any circumstance, which makes statement 3 incorrect. Because reservation can exceed beyond 50% as well, but only under exceptional circumstances. So if the statement is saying reservation cannot exceed 50% under any circumstance, this statement is wrong. So 1 and 2, A, is the right answer. What is the context? This is today's The Hindu newspaper. The Supreme Court has struck down the Maratha quota in Maharashtra, saying it violates right to equality, and you have violated the 50% cap on reservations which was provided in the Indira Sahni case. The Supreme Court further said that there are no exceptional circumstances in Maharashtra to break this 50% ceiling limit. Staying with this judgment, let's look at question number 2. The Constitution 102nd Amendment Act of 2018. It deals with which of the following? Number 1, withdrawal of political reservation in favor of Anglo-Indians. No, this was done by 104th Constitutional Amendment Act. 104th Constitutional Amendment Act extended the reservation for SCs and STs, political reservation for SCs and STs in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies for another 10 years. But this reservation for Anglo-Indians was not extended. That is why 104th Amendment Act led to the withdrawal of political reservation in favor of Anglo-Indians. The 10% reservation in government jobs and educational institutions, it was done by 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Implementation of the Goods and Services Tax, GST, was done by 101 Constitutional Amendment Act. So providing constitutional status to National Commission for Backward Classes, it was done by 102nd Amendment Act 2018. So B is the right answer. Now let's look at question number 3. Which of the following statements is or are correct? Number 1, Department of Military Affairs is headed by the Chief of Defense Staff as its ex officio secretary. 2, officers from the Army, Navy and the Air Force are posted as joint secretaries in the Department of Military Affairs. 3, Department of Military Affairs is an independent department directly under the command of the Prime Minister. What is the context? New appointments. This is today's Indian Express. Statement number 1, whoever is the Chief of Defense Staff, Mr. Bipin Rawat right now is the Chief of Defense Staff. Whoever is the Chief of Defense Staff is also the Secretary of the Department of Military Affairs. That means Chief of Defense Staff, by virtue of holding the office of the Chief of Defense Staff, is also the Secretary of the Department of Military Affairs. So statement 1 is correct. Officers from Army, Navy and the Air Force, they are posted as joint secretaries in the Department of Military Affairs. Yes. 1 officer from Army, 1 officer from Navy, 1 officer from the Air Force, they have been appointed as the joint secretaries in the Department of Military Affairs. But this Department of Military Affairs comes under Ministry of Defense. That means statement 3 is incorrect. A, 1 and 2 is the right answer. And all these appointments have been cleared by the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet, which is headed by the Prime Minister. Another member of this committee is the Minister of Home Affairs. Now let's look at question number 4. Consider the following statements. MRIs, magnetic resonance imaging, they use radio waves, while as CT scans, computer tomography, they use X-rays. CT scans can spot blood clots, while X-rays cannot. Which of these statements is or are correct? Both these statements are correct. C is the right answer. What is the context? This is today's The Hindu newspaper. A CT scan for COVID merits a word of caution. There are lots of risks associated with CT scans, and the column says its widespread use in diagnosing infectious diseases, it needs to be questioned. Let's look at previous year's question paper, Prelims 2012. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the Brahmo Samaj of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who is also known as the father of the modern India? Brahmo Samaj opposed idolatry, opposed idol worship. This statement is correct. It denied the need for priestly class for interpreting the religious texts, because Brahmo Samaj propounded that individuals can use their own intelligence, can use their own rationality to interpret these religious texts. To interpret religious texts, we don't need the priestly class. And also, it popularized the doctrine that Vedas are infallible. This statement is wrong, because Brahmo Samaj propounded that Vedas can also be full of errors as well. So Vedas are not infallible. So 1 and 2 is correct. B is the right answer. Let's look at the fact of the day. What is the context? Context is, this is the Economic Times. First death from COVID-19 in Commando Force, NSG, as officer succumbs to the pandemic. What is NSG? National Security Guard. These commandos are also known as the Black Cats. It is a unit, a counter-terrorism unit, which is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and it was founded in the year 1986 after Operation Blue Star, after the assassination of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and it was founded for combating terrorist activities and protecting states against internal disturbances. That is it from our daily quiz. Thank you for being with us. Have a great day.